Welcome to the Configure Price Quote Podcast. My name is Sohn and I'm the founder of CPQ Consulting. This podcast is 100% focused on Configure Price Quote, also known as CPQ, and will provide you useful insights into this topic. My guest today is Rourke McCarron, founder of Kabaido, a CPQ software company focused on helping precision manufacturers quote faster and more accurately. I'm excited to have him join me today in the CPQ podcast to discuss his background and the company he's built. Welcome, Rourke.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Very excited to have you. Please tell our listeners a little bit more about yourself and what you did before you started Kabaido, I think just last October.
Sure. So before October, I was working in a precision tooling manufacturer in the UK. I worked in sales and procurement. So I was buying in tools, buying in material, and also selling the tools on a daily basis.
Excellent. What sparked the idea to start Kabaido? How long did you work for that precision manufacturer?
Sure. So just over a year, I was at the precision tooling manufacturer, but I sort of came in from a background of technology. And so when I came into the job, I sort of saw a lot of errors in how the operations worked. On a daily basis, I would be configuring quotes for customers, and this would consist of going to the engineering team, providing what you're looking for, waiting a day or so back to hear what the quote is and what the configured product should be for the customer. And I found that this wasn't just an issue at the one company, but an industry-wide problem that manufacturers struggled to connect the sales team with the engineering team to sort of have a quality service that they provide to customers and, a fast turnaround time on quoting. And I knew that it could be a lot better. So I started Kabaido to solve this disconnect between the sales teams and the engineering teams on complex product sales.
Excellent. And how long, I'm curious, how long have you known about CPQ solutions now?
So honestly, I started Kabaido with the mission to make Configure Price Quote better. I later, probably in January, actually found out that it was called CPQ. The category that I was in was CPQ, which was good for me because I then found the position in the market, putting a name to the software and categorizing it was really important. So January, 3 months later, I found out that it was in CPQ.
Okay, got it. Cool. And how would you describe the demand for CPQ solutions in the UK right now?
From my own research, I've seen that CPQ has been around for decades now, with companies like Sohn going back, to the 80s doing this sort of thing. So CPQ is a well-matured industry, but as of right now, more and more customers are demanding for solutions like this. I feel like before it was only the enterprise size, super big companies that could afford CPQ or even need a CPQ. Now I think it's becoming more widely needed and desired by customers selling products like tooling. And so with things like AI, there is also now a different landscape to CPQ and more that you can do and provide with the platform.
Got it. And what's for you personally the most exciting part of being in the CPQ space at this time?
Not to repeat AI, but I think at this point, AI is changing a lot of the technology categories. All the technology products across the industry are changing because of AI. CPQ is still yet to have a leader in an AI native CPQ. And I think it's quite exciting to see what can be done by not just having static product formulas to calculate price, but actually having an historical data calculation with the AI. So there's more that you can do in CPQ with the technology that's available in 2026.
And before we talk more about Kabaido and AI, what do you like to do when you don't work?
Sure. There's not much time that I'm not working, honestly. But when I'm not, I think it's just about being outside and spending time with the people I love most and just socializing. Really, I think it's important to refresh the mind, and I'm a big on exercise, so I run every day and sort of keep the body fresh.
Where are you located in the UK, Rook?
Sure, I'm based in Bournemouth, in Dorset, so right down the south of England on the coast by the beach. I
Okay.
think maybe the best place in the UK.
And you like running on the beach then also?
For sure, a coastal run is definitely, yeah, it's refreshing.
And you just run for fun, or you have also half marathons, marathons, I've know triathlons?
No, nothing like this. I'm not serious. I think I actually probably am doing 5K at a time, but it's just a little bit of something to get my energy back in the day and continue on and staying fit, really. But I'm not a serious runner like that I would train or do marathons at this point.
Okay. Very cool. Then let's talk a little bit more about Kabaido. Please tell our listeners and myself what Kabaido does and what business problems you're trying to solve.
Sure. So Kabaido is a CPQ purpose-built for precision manufacturers. We're focused on tooling manufacturers. So this includes solid carbide, end mills manufacturers of solid carbide tools, super abrasives, circular saw blades, any of these kind of precision cutting tools that are used at scale. They require a lot of consolidation when selling the products because there are so many parameters that affect what the outcome is of that tool. So Kabaido is focused on building product configurators purpose-built for tooling with an AI native platform. So the sales team of the manufacturing operation can quote faster with the AI agent that can use these tooling configurators. So really our mission is bridging this gap between the engineering department and the sales department and making quotes faster for manufacturers.
Got it. And I checked on your website also a couple of things, and what stood out a little bit to me was at least you called the manufacturing operating system. I was wondering, tell me a little bit more what that is, what that does, why that's interesting for your customers.
Sure. So I think there's multiple angles that you can go about with CPQ and how the price is formulated. With our core platform, it's just based on putting in different formulas, having different rules to calculate price. With the module manufacturing operation system, we actually connect the CPQ to the factory floor. So it's the perfect merge between a manufacturing execution system, MES, and a CPQ. So rather than calculating costs on a parameter, you actually have a root of processes and machines and resources that output your calculated price. So if one day a machine is down and you have to switch to another one, that's going to change the price. And so it's not as much of a static model. It's one that you would maybe want to use at scale if you wanted to have the factory floor really built into the CPQ.
Got it. And I have two more things that I wanted you to talk a little bit about. You mentioned also that you have a self-service portal and an intelligent quoting assistant. Tell me a little bit more about that, please.
The self-service portal was something requested often by our customers and by people in the industry. It came from a need where they wanted to provide customers an area to go online and use the configurators and sort of configure the quotes themselves rather than going to the sales team. So the portal just creates a custom link for the manufacturer for any group of customers or any specific customer. And each customer has their own link. And so when their customer accesses their portal link, they have their discounts applied and they have the certain areas that the manufacturer wants them to see or use. So if there's a custom configurator in your Kabaido platform and you want your customers to be able to use that without seeing cost, but just seeing the price, then the self-service portal is a really useful model for this, and also lets customers directly upload RFQs without sort of any lag between emails. Along with this is our intelligent quoting agent, Kai, we call it, Kabaido Applied Intelligence. And this is the AI native agent that fits into the Kabaido platform. So a sales agent can use a configurator to input the parameters of the tool or the product and then export the quote. They can do it manually themselves, or they can use the quoting agent to execute the configuration. So for example, if my customer comes through with an email requesting a certain tool with all these parameters, instead of an employee entering in each parameter one by one, the quoting agent can take that email, put it through the system and output the configured product, which is a huge time reduction and is something that's trained specifically per customer. So we have our Kabaido Applied Intelligence. It has engineering logic built into it. And so there's already pre-loaded knowledge about tooling and about their industry. But then we take it a step further when they start adding in configurators and they start adding in the types of products and the categories that they have. We then train the agent further on that, so it's able to execute with accuracy every time.
And tell me in your own words, where is Kabaido a good fit and where is it not a good fit?
Sure. I think if the products are complicated, so if there are 10 parameters to one product, and if the quotes are happening on a frequent basis. So if a manufacturer is maybe quoting once a day or 5 times a day, maybe something like this is not as suitable because we're built for sort of scale, high frequency quote processing. That's where we fit in is when the quotes are frequent. Also, if the products are complicated, so if they're just if it's a plain piece of metal, if it's a block of metal, there's not much variation to that. But with a tool, there are tens of parameters. So this is where Kabaido is a good fit because it draws into all the areas. And precision manufacturing in general is a key area of focus for us because we know that calculating prices has to be precise. And the demands of customers are extremely precise. So, yeah.
And what customer size are you focusing on with the precision manufacturers?
Our customer size ranges from companies that have 40 employees all the way up to 4,000. So there's quite a big range in terms of the size of company, but I think it's really based on how many quotes is the customer doing a month. And I think really the sweet spot of minimum is probably 250. Anything less than this is not so much worth it. And then the more you have per month, the more value Kabaido can really bring to the operation. So it's sort of in a range like this.
And let me ask one question. You already mentioned customers from 40 to 4,000. You founded a company last October. That's already quite a range. So tell me how you got to that point to have so many customers so quickly.
Sure. So with one customer, I think it only took less than a month to go from interest to integration. And this really comes from the fact that Kabaido is purpose-built. So we already know the industries that we're going into, and the customers that we have come from this industry of tooling. We already understand the depth of the products, the sort of daily processes that these tooling companies go through, and the kind of needs that they have. So we already had the preloaded logic into the agent. We already had the configurators set up for the kind of products that they were selling. So integration time for our industry is much shorter than usual. I would say the longest part is the point at which the company adopts it internally. Obviously, implementing a system like Kabaido into the sales operations does change a lot in a company, and this can influence a slower time to adopt, as it's common across CPQ. But with the customers so far, it ranged from less than a month to about 5.
Okay, excellent. Then let's look at investors. Have you any investors so far, or is that still privately funded?
Sure. So Kabaido is still privately funded. However, we are going into the season now, at which we want to raise a round to expand across not just Europe, but the globe. We want to get a global team going and raise the money necessary to do this.
Excellent. And how many employees you have at this time, and where are they located?
Sure. So at this time, it's just a team of 3. We have someone in Saudi Arabia, someone in Austria, and then me in the UK. So at this time, it's just a team of three. Both the other team members come from the industry of tooling as well, a strong background in manufacturing. A company's Earlicon, that do coatings, tooling coatings. There's lots of knowledge behind the industry that they are able to bring to the table, and it's a really strong team. Yeah, I think you could probably cut out the last bit there.
Excellent. Got it. Now tell me a little bit more about your solution architecture, right? So is it, for example, is it the headless architecture? Is it API first and so on? And do your customers care about this when you sell the solution to them?
Sure. So the bigger customer care about the integration points that Kabaido provides. And we knew this from the start. So building the solution, we made it MCP native from the beginning. MCP allows our platform to be truly AI native, not just a legacy system with an AI agent bolted on top. We are MCP. As well, we have the API set up for any connection, any integration with external services. And we built this from the start with the knowledge that integration and customizability to how you connect to Kabaido is going to be super important for our customers. And so we built it around this.
If your company is evaluating CPQ and you're not sure which vendors are actually worth your time, try the free Novo CPQ Briefing Match app. You answer a few questions about your business and requirements, and it gives you a more focused starting shortlist of relevant CPQ solutions. It's meant to save time, reduce noise, and make early CPQ research a lot easier. Go to novocpq.com and click on the CPQ Podcast page to find it. One question also about certifications. Do you have any certifications so far, like the ISO 27001 or the SOC 2 Type 2 kind of certification?
Sure. We're going through the process at the moment, actually, to get our SOC 2 and a few other certification badges so we can go into other customers that have had requests for systems, but there's certain they deal with certain sensitive data, and so Kabaido has to appeal with that. So we're going through a few certification processes at the moment, so we can handle things like military data and being on the national databases.
Excellent. I see you're not getting bored, Rourke, right? So you're building the company, you're going through certification, lots of stuff at the same time. Now tell me also, please, how is the product offering integrating with CRM, ERP solutions, potentially other solutions? Is there anything out of the box worth mentioning here?
Yeah, so we actually have a native AI agent that's built for integration. So as part of our onboarding process, we do go through what integrations the customer requires, at which level, what kind of platforms are they, the brands, and how we can connect to that. But going forward, to monitor the integration, we have an AI agent that overlooks the connection and the data being passed through and passed back to make sure that there's no inconsistency with the integration or any error that happens in silence. This can be common with integrations where an error happens and it's not discovered until a week later, and then you have to recalibrate everything. So we knew this, and so we built the AI agent to monitor integrations, and also we do it as a part of our setup to make sure that the system is fitting seamless into how the business operates.
But give me an example. What CRM systems, what ERP systems do you integrate with this way?
Sure. So we did an integration with Excel. I mean, this is an unconventional one, but we actually set up a custom feed to the business's local system where we were able to feed to their Excel and also take away from their sheets. We also integrated with a CRM called Symphony. This is a smaller CRM company, but still we were able to understand the structure and pull through a reliable integration. Also things like the Dynamics system we have integrated with to pass through data. So when a quote on the system wants to become an order, customers can push it to their ERP and turn it from quote into order.
Okay, got it. Then let's talk about a couple of the capabilities, right? Your website mentions, for example, building configurators without writing code. how far can customers go with that before they need any technical help?
Sure. So the way we've set it up with the configurators is we have the standard ones, which come out the box with the platform. You can have unlimited amounts of these, and they allow you to customize the product pricing in any way. So you add in all of the parameters of the products, the types of fields, the types of value that are in each parameter, whether it's a list of options for that parameter, whether it's a number, or it is just a text label. Then with each field, you're able to come up with a formula to say how that's affecting the cost. And you can do this with simple mathematical formula, or you can choose to do rules and if statements like this. So there's really a lot of customization to how the cost can be calculated, not just, field value equals 9. It's more, you can customize it more than just this. And sort of have your own custom structure, and you can have unlimited amounts of these. They sort of go beyond what an Excel probably would be doing across multiple sheets and multiple formulas, just in one simple flow. And we also provide free training on using these configurators. Okay. On top of this, we have these specialized configurators that are built by Kabaido specifically for the customer. These come with a 2D CAD rendering and a full pricing formula set up by Kabaido that let the customer customize any of the rates in the future. But yeah, these are the two ways.
Got it. Excellent. I think also it would be interesting to understand a little bit better the pricing capabilities, because I think you mentioned also again in the public material that you have that's not just the lookup table, right? So tell me a little bit more about how Kabaido handles the pricing for manufacturers.
From what we've seen, manufacturers have very different ways of calculating price. Some want to do it on time rates. Some want to do it on parameters and saying, if this diameter is at 3, and then it will go up X amount per millimeter. So really, there's a lot of customization. So if we provided one parameter to say, this is the multiple of the cost, this is how cost is affected, you then add another formula onto another field, and then you can say, how are these two output prices connected? Do they add together? Do they multiply? And then if you wanted to add lookup tables on top of this, it can be. So really, it's about turning numeric input into a calculated price. This could also be done by looking at, say, the surface area. So we can calculate if they're providing the diameter and the length, and we know the composition, we're able to calculate the surface area. And then we can provide rates like per surface area cost to say, if there's a coating, for example, what's the rate of that coating per surface area? And it's going to be able to know that by what provided diameter and length the customer is providing.
Excellent. And I want to go back to one thing you mentioned earlier. You mentioned Kai, your AI assistant, right? So tell me the key capabilities that you provide via this Kai today.
Sure. So Kai, Kabaido Applied Intelligence, is the first application engineering AI. Kai's main capabilities is processing RFQs, executing configurations, providing analytics on sales, and generally finding sales opportunities in the pipeline. It's an all-in-one quoting agent that handles the key parts of industrial sales with engineering logic built in.
Excellent. So then let's talk about the product itself, right? So I looked at your pricing page and you emphasized there that you have no per seat fees, right? So you have usage-based factors and a lower cost alternative to traditional enterprise CPQ pricing. So tell me a little bit more about that, and how important is that commercial model in your go-to-market strategy?
So with what's going on with SaaS at the moment, we understand the landscape for pricing on CPQ is changing a lot, and in every software category, which is why we charge a fixed amount per month based on features that are chosen, not super high. And then also our setup cost is just covering the integration and any setups that we have to provide and training to the customer. We understand that the value Kabaido provides is immense to the customers. And so we do calculate this based on usage to say, okay, how much time is Kabaido going to save the customer? And then sort of sharing that value based on that at a very fair rate.
Got it. Then let's look at the typical Kabaido project, if there is something like that at this point, right? So, but the projects that you have done so far, tell me, what's the duration? How long does it take? Is it remote or on site? And what tasks are customers expected to do? And what does the Kabaido team do?
So really, up until the point the customer decides to proceed with their project, we're discovering what they need and the kind of setup that they want from Kabaido. What's the most valuable feature to this company? For example, our distributor customers are looking for a faster way to process RFQs connected to their product catalog, whereas our manufacturing customers are more focused on how can I configure these engineered products faster. So there's different needs and different features that the customer needs. But at the point they proceed, we have already established the key features, what the goal of the platform is for our customer. And so at this point, it's really just about integrating, making the integration stable, and iterating on the feedback provided by the customer and their internal team.
But what is the average duration? Does it take 2 weeks, 2 months? I don't know. So for customers, just to know what timeline they should expect when they can go live.
So at the point of the customer proceeding, they are providing us with what integration points they need. This is really what affects the time the most, but we can do integrations in 5 days or in 5 weeks, depending on if the customer needs to consult with their internal technical team to get API links or information about how their integrations work. But really, Kabaido is set up and ready to go as soon as we have all the required API endpoints and relative information about the integration. But it ranges from 5 days to 5 weeks, depending on the level of collaboration and level of integration.
And what kind of support and training does Kabaido offer to ensure smooth implementation for your customers?
Sure. So the onboarding process for Kabaido is very seamless. We run through everything that the customer needs before we get started with the onboarding. And Kabaido does personalized sessions with any of their team members to join in a group session. And we do anywhere from 3 to 10 of these, depending on the level of the system that the customer is requiring. But we do training with their teams online, providing different language manuals and instructions on how to use the Kabaido platform. Kabaido is on hand 7 days a week to support our customers, and we always solve issues within about 48 hours maximum, and it can be within the hour when our customers request. We also, at this stage, are providing customers with some iterations if they have some personal feedback about how the platform is and how they would like it to be. We are able to provide this at this stage as a free iteration for the customer, so their platform is really customized to their needs.
Excellent. We're coming to the end of this episode. Hence, a question: where can our listeners learn more about your solution? Anything you want to point them to?
Sure. I think the best way is going on the kabaido.com website and scheduling a demo with the team to see what the platform looks like. And we want to fit that demo around you. So providing any details about the company and the industry you're in is great for us to customize the demo and set up a workspace so we can really show you how Kabaido can have a positive impact at your company.
Excellent. And if any of our listeners have any questions for you, what's a good way for them to get a hold of you, Rourke?
So personally, you can find me on LinkedIn. My name is Rourke McCarron. And yeah, anyone can reach out, connect with me, and I'm always open to any questions and discussions every day.
Rourke, thank you very much for making time for the CPQ podcast today.
Thank you, Frank.
I'd like to thank everyone for listening and hope you learned something interesting today. If you like the podcast, please go ahead and rate it on iTunes or share it with your friends and colleagues. In the meantime, you can find us online at www.novocpq.com. So long, everyone.